There's a 3-week-long digital art installation that's taking over the Brooklyn Academy of Music's Fisher Building with the hope of inspiring creativity through interaction with technology. The work will have all the wow you expect from an exhibition of its kind, featuring local and international artists and technologists.
Yes, and in the context of Teknopolis, those wows are particularly, or partially, I should say, partially delivered in the form of 7 virtual reality experiences and an interactive take on children's literature. Woo. Interesting, right? Now here to interact in our actual reality is BAM's Director of Family Programming, Steven McIntosh. Welcome, sir.
Hey, great to be here, thanks.
Well, we're also very much IRL with us in the studio, artist Christopher Felske. Welcome, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
And his collaborator, Irene Angelopoulos of the Catshrine Collective.
Yes.
Their pop lock dance machine pieces in the collective show, right?
Yep.
That and a lot more. We actually have a preview of the exhibit to show you before we get into the convo. So let's take a look at that. Okay, yes.
That's what I call a tease.
Totally.
I'm going to do all those things.
So that's going to be, what, it said February 25th to March 12th, which means starting this
weekend.
This
yeah, 3 full weekends
Steven,
starting this weekend.
Tell us about everything that we just saw.
Sure. So Teknopolis, so it's a multi-floor experience. So for those familiar with the BAM Fisher space and coming for Next Wave shows, we're taking over the Fisher space, we're taking over the second level, the lower lobby, and our Hillman studio. So literally kind of anywhere you go in the space, you've got something exciting to interact with.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So how did you guys step into this? Because you don't often see this large a stage for installations. There might be like one cool thing in the subway or something, or some corporate entity sponsors something, but this is a big deal.
Yeah, Steven reached out to us. He saw us up in Toronto for TIFF's DigiPlay space, and he got a glimpse of the exhibit there, and reached out, and yeah, I mean, how could we turn it down? It's going to be phenomenal.
Irene, what is your exhibit? Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a stop motion exhibit where we take a series of photographs of the participants and they pose, and then when we put it together, it looks like they're dancing superstars.
Very cool. I could use all the help I can get.
Yeah.
Well, so could we.
That's kind of
why we built it.
Yeah, that's why we made it.
Necessity and all that.
Oh, yeah.
So how did you curate this thing? You brought in these guys. I mentioned something about this storytelling, and they're actual like landscapes that are created as you're standing there using this new technology.
Yeah, so we operate with the question with our programming, like what's the next wave for kids? In the same way that we offer this festival, what are age-appropriate experiences? A lot of our artists are using creative technology. So what I was looking for was installations that prompted performing arts-like experiences. So these are going to get you moving, dancing, creating visual art in 3D, making music, or even immersing yourself kind of like in role, like in theater. So that was sort of the general lens that kind of essentially what allowed us to curate what we did.
Oh my goodness, so you can dance, you can paint, you can actually participate, so do the things yourself or just watch, right? So that's another element of it, is you don't actually have to get in the dancing if you don't want to. You can be a voyeur.
I suspect you'll want to, though.
Yes.
It's kind of made so that it's for people who can't really dance or maybe have that sort of dancing hang up, which is how we got started on the idea, because everyone can take a photo.
Right.
And if you can take a photo, we can make the rest happen.
Right.
So we were meant to ask you about the XYZ exhibit.
Yeah. So XYZT, it's
So we've got video of that.
great. So that there's 10 installations in that collection, and that'll be in our Fisher space. A lot of it is Connect-based work. So these are sensors that are going to respond to your movement. And that's what causes for example, with shifting clouds, for the sort of gathering of these flittering pieces of rice that take the shape of your silhouette, and that you can literally dance with your shadow. There's floor-based, similar installations, and then 2 are touch-based, and 2 actually respond to your breath.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, this
We
sounds so cool.
We're living in the future.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that being said, Mel, when she was introducing, talked about digital artists and their technologists, I think was the word as well. So what do you guys consider your work? Like if you had to quantify, or like suddenly your old uncle sitting at the
What
table
I need to
saying,
explain
yeah, are
yourselves.
you an artist? What's the technology?
Well, ironically, the technology is one of the oldest sort of film tricks.
stop motion.
Stop
Yeah.
motion,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Except now we're using some, digital software to make it real time and bring it to life that way.
Yeah, we like to say we're taking animation out of the studio and into the streets.
I love it.
We're very democratic here.
So what ages are appropriate to bring along to this? Do we bring the really little ones, or do we have a particular kind of limit?
This one we're a hard kind of stop at 6 and
Okay.
up, just because we found developmentally it can be overstimulating, or a lot of the equipment actually is really sensitive. It needs to be handled properly. So 6 and up's a great age and range. We even have some evening slots, Brian.
Yes.
For the adults
what's
who
going
maybe
on in
want
the
to.
evenings?
No, this way he's talking out of school now. Just before we came back to the thing, I said, listen, when can I come by and not have to deal with kids?
We know that's a preference. and
All of this
that's-
technology is
Yeah,
wasted
yeah.
on the young. Like, I want to get in there and have my
Goodness.
mind.
Yeah, so we thought, definitely thought of you. We've got 3 evening slots that start later tonight. So there may be some teens, but it's definitely geared for adults who just want to play. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But some of it, okay, to get back to the children,
Okay.
sorry, Brian. Some of this really is about the future of storytelling, right? With technology for children. Can you talk to us a little bit about that, Steven?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm a parent too, and art imitates life. And technology is a big part of our world now as an adult and for our kids. And I think as a parent, I'm concerned about how my kids interact with technology. I can't keep them away from it, but we want to educate them to see it as something that has creative potential. So yeah, our feeling is these are all work that aren't going to put them in the consumer role. They're going to be in the activator and creative role. That doesn't really happen without them, and that's really what we want kids to know, is that this is something for them to create, play with, and potentially become, artists like the fantastic artists we're presenting there.
So speaking of this art, like it is taking it to the next level and the next realm. And I wonder for you guys, thinking about having these sort of digital and internet-based works, it sort of goes in the face of old art traditions where they've been hanging on the wall for 1,000 years. And what do you feel about that transition? And some people say, oh, it's not even real art. You unplug it and it's done.
It's true. There is that argument, yeah. But I think what's really fascinating is the storytelling that you mentioned behind it, the narrative idea behind that art, and also trying to connect an audience to it in a way that it flies in the face of the established gallery space. And that's kind of what's exciting and why it's just as valid as now. The internet is the gallery, and so it's really just about hanging it in a different space, I think.
Right, and it's something that kids and adults can do together, right, and enjoy at the same time, rather than something that maybe a kid wouldn't appreciate so much of it's just hanging there, or it's not just a children's museum that an adult can't really appreciate so much when they're there with the kids. Everyone comes together to do it. I think we actually have, I don't know if we have time, we have one more video. We don't have time, but we had a...
You just have to come see it for yourself. Thanks
You
for
will
So
have to go see it
speaking
for
of seeing it,
yourself.
like what's the one thing that you're most excited about? And you can say your own work if you want, but you've seen the other things. But what are you most excited about as part of the exhibition?
Oh
that
gosh,
you
it's like
must
picking favorites.
see?
First
Among equals,
The
but
most crazy.
Well, I mean, I think Lumarca by Matt Parker, who teaches out of NYU's Game Center. So generally, this is a piece that he's brought internationally, but hasn't really had a scale of this size, 5 by 5 foot cube. It's the digital world in 3D space, so those animations you're used to seeing on your screen feel like they have volume, and then you create your own avatar and activate yourself in the cube. So it's kind of, it's a bit meta, like yourself in the box, am I in the box? Yeah.
Okay, start lining up now. The exhibition starts this weekend.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you at BAM.
All right, thanks so much.
Thanks for having us.